today I'm going to help you with a quick way to sketch a basic sine graph. We'll graph y equals 2 sine of 1/3 x. So we've got the general form of the equation here, 3 quick steps. Let's dive right in. Step 1, we're going to first start with the essentials. We'll find a in our equation. It's 2, it's just that coefficient in front of sine. This is the amplitude, so it's the distance from the midline of the graph up to the maximum or down to the minimum. This will give us our y coordinate for our max and min key points in step 2. So hold on to that for a moment. Now we'll find b, which is just the coefficient in front of our x. Okay, so that's 1/3. And we use that to find the period. So we have 2 pi over b as our formula. This works for all your sine graphs. So 2 pi divided by a fraction of 1/3 is the same thing as multiplying by the reciprocal. So our period here, or the horizontal length of a cycle, is 6 pi. And then we're going to do a clever little setup here for our scale, for our horizontal scale. Take your period and divide it by 4. And this is going to break up one full cycle horizontally of the graph into 4 pieces. And we have 4 key points. And all this does is makes for a nice, neat graph where each of those key points lines up with a horizontal tick mark. All right, so that being said, we have 6 pi divided by 4. Okay, that reduces to 3 pi over 2. So that's how we'll be counting to label our horizontal axis. Okay, so maybe a little weird counting by 3/2 pi, but we can do it. We have 3 pi over 2, 6 pi over 2. Okay, well, we want to write that, of course, as 3 pi. 9 pi over 2. And then we have 12 pi over 2, or 6 pi. And that makes sense. Our 4th tick mark moving to the right from the origin should be our period. Now we'll label our vertical axis. It's even quicker. Take a quick check with your value of a. Usually counting by 1s will work really well here. All right, so everything's labeled. Now we're ready for step 2. We're going to plot our key points, and this is for a sine pattern. So it goes from the origin, starting with a 0, 1, then a maximum, then a second 0, then a minimum. So we'll plot our first point here, 0, 1 at the origin. Our maximum happens at 3 pi over 2. And like we said before, that value a will set our y coordinate. So for a maximum, it's all the way up at 2. Our next point will be 0, 2 at 3 pi. And then our final point in the pattern, our key point, will be our minimum at 9 pi over 2. And you get the y coordinate by just taking the opposite value of a. Remember that amplitude, that distance from midline up to max or down to min is just 2 units. And now we're ready to sketch. Step 3, easy enough. Sketching your sine pattern here. We come back at 6 pi, we'd start a new cycle. So if you need more repetitions of this cycle, you can. Otherwise, you've got one great cycle of this graph. So that's all there is to getting a really good, quick sketch of a sine graph. Hope this helped, and don't forget to subscribe for more graphing help and other tips.